What's up, vinyl community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live, as always, from the Man Cave. It's been a while since I've had a video, just me inside the Man Cave talking to you guys. Been trying to have a little fun lately with some of the videos, getting out and about, hanging out with some people, doing things a little bit different, trying to get out and try to make the most of 2020. Which is, I think most of you guys can agree, for the most part, the year has been a dumpster fire, but might as well make the most of it. But here I am with a new video of recent finds of 2020. In this video, I'm not going to include anything that I showed in the recent hangout videos with, like me and my boy Josh, on my step outs to lunchbox or whatever, and I showed you the finds in the videos. I'm trying to leave those out. So I'm hoping that if you're a first time viewer to the channel and you see what you like, and you see something you like, you see something worth coming back for, that you go back and check out those videos. And anyway, so first off, 2 weeks ago, I think my boy Dylan, Noble Records, big jazz soiree, if you will, big old jazz dig, mostly Japanese reissues, original jazz classics, stuff like that. But he had it, and of course I was happy to show up and support, because as you guys know, as much as I love my original pressings, and they are my bread and butter, I do love a good high quality reissue, because at the end of the day, what's most important is that we have the music. That's what's most important. And then for me, if I have a chance to upgrade later, I will. I always do. So let's go to some stuff that I found. Well, not found, but yeah, the things that I grabbed that day at the Noble Records Jazz Soiree, if you will. First off, Smooth Sailing, Ornette Cobb. Okay, this is an exception because this is splat out. This is an original pressing. Boom, beautiful yellow and black prestige label. Killer stuff. I actually just listened to it 30 minutes ago. It's after 2 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast. Ornette Cobb on the tenor sax, Buster Cooper on trombone, Austin Mitchell on the organ, George DeVivier on bass, and O.C. Johnson, on drums. Wonderful set. Love Ornette Cobb. Great stuff. Next up, Bobby Timmons in person. Awesome Japanese pressing. Clean. Whistle clean, you can eat off of it. I spun that the day I got it. I love Bobby Timmons. This is a killer record. And Riverside, Japanese press again. But Bobby Timmons on the keys, Ron Carter on bass, Albert Heath on the sticks. Beautiful, awesome, wonderful trio set, and highly recommended. Next up, Jazz Contrast, Kenny Dorham with Sonny Rollins. This is an OJC. Man, I'd love to have an original of this someday, but this OJC is awesome. I don't think I paid but $12 or $13 for it. Killer stuff. Kenny Dorham on trumpet, Sonny Rollins on tenor, Hank Jones on keys, Oscar Pettiford on bass, Max Roach on drums, Betty Glyman on harp, and yeah, it's fucking killer. Next up is one that I sold when I was selling all my records to pay back some of my debt for you long-standing followers of my channel, if you will. You guys are, it's well documented. I sold a lot of records to pay back debt, to get ahead on bills, get ahead in life, to better the situation for my wife and I. And there's always a few that you sell that you hate, that you hate that you sold, that you tell yourself, I'm going to get back again. Well, the next one is one of those ones. The Jimi Hendrix Experience Radio 1, limited edition 3-sided LP on Ryko. It's that clear vinyl. It's fucking killer, just as everything that ever featured the great Mr. Jimi Hendrix is. But I'm very, 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 very happy to have this back in my collection. I'm going to try my best and not have to sell it this time. Love it. Next up, The Meeting, Jackie McLean featuring Dexter Gordon. Volume 1 is on Inner City. I got to tell you guys, don't sleep on Inner City. And I tell you, don't sleep on Inner City. Yes, it's basically, for the most part, it's like 70s hard bop. So what they basically did well is they got a lot of artists that used to be on Blue Note and Prestige and Contemporary and all these major labels, later in their careers to record on this label. And granted, it's not the same sound quality. It's not. You don't have, Rudy Van Gelder involved. I mean, it's not the same sound quality. It's not the same presentation. As you can see, the cover's pretty basic, but the music is still great. And it's still, if you're a Jackie McLean fan or if you're a Dexter Gordon fan, then you should just automatically grab this anyway. And Inner City's got some heat, guys. I'm just telling you. And it's almost always under $15. Almost always. Don't sleep. Please. Next up, Dexter Gordon, The Tower of Power with Barry Harris, Buster Williams, Al Tootie Heath, and James Moody. It's got that, if I'm not mistaken, the Blue Trident, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, not. It's the green label, so it's a little later than the Blue Trident. Blue Trident would have been an upgrade. But again, Dexter Gordon, got it under $20. Great record. Killer stuff. Very happy to have it. Next up, I love Booker Urban. Booker Urban is always just so hard to find. But this is the Freedom and Space Sessions 2 LP set. Awesome stuff. Freaking love it. Happy to have it. Anytime you can get yourself any Booker Urban. For a lot of you guys, there's a lot of you guys that follow my channel that are getting into me a little by little. And I can't help but notice from some of the DMs that I get on Instagram and whatnot that for the most part, a lot of you guys are jumping right on in on the big names and jumping right on in on Blue Note, which is great because Blue Note cannot be beat for sound and presentation. It's impossible. They can't be beat. Many tried. Nobody succeeded. That's my opinion, of course. Somebody's going to probably comment on this video and tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I don't care. But anyway, Booker Urban was on, a couple of Blue Note sessions, had a Blue Note album or two, but most of you aren't going to know who he is. Seek his work out, guys. Phenomenal stuff. I love Booker Urban. Next up, this is a 10-inch that I bought off a buddy of mine. To be honest with you, every Blue Note 10-inch I own is beat to shit. It just really is. And the only reason I really keep them is because they're historical. They're like artifacts. So for me, it's Art Hodes and his Chicagoans. It's Blue Note LP 7004. Obviously mono, 1953. As you guys can see, there's the wax. Beautiful Blue Note label. Splat out. But to be honest with you, it's probably, I haven't put it on the table. It probably doesn't play well. But again, I didn't pay that much for it. And it's a great historical artifact. And it used to belong to, evidently, Tommy Meltzer. Thank you, Tommy, for writing on your record that now belongs to me. Next up, one that every jazz fan or jazz person who's curious about jazz has bought in the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to spend much time on it, even though it's awesome. Just Coolin', Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Just gave it its first spin 2 hours ago. It's Art Blakey, Lee Morgan, Hank Mobley, Bobby Timmons, and Jimmy Merritt. Guys, it's stellar. It really is. It can be had for under $25, guys. If you're curious about jazz, if you've been following my channel and just follow because you like watching me talk, or because you like my southern drawl, or whatever, and you've always been curious about getting into one, go ahead and pick this one up, guys, because it's under $25. And if you already are a jazz fan, then you probably already have it, and if not, what the fuck are you waiting for? Get it. Art Blakey, Jazz Messengers, Just Coolin'. It's 2020 has sucked royally, and we haven't had very much to celebrate this year. But we've had some good album releases, and top of the line for me, Just Coolin', Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. It's a bunch of really great jazz artists in their prime. Get yourself a copy. Next up, Love Walked In, Chet Baker and the Strings, featuring Zoot Sims, Shelly Man, Bud Shank, and Russ Freeman. be honest with you, I fucked up on this one. And the reason I say so is because I just thought it was a new Chet Baker, a different Chet Baker album. And no, it's a reissue of the album formerly titled Chet Baker and Strings, which I already have. Oh, sometimes you do that. It just happens sometimes. So on Harmony Records, subsidiary of Columbia at the time, evidently. Hey, sometimes it happens. I didn't pay that much for it. I can't even remember how much I paid for it. It's a scenario where I might sound compare both of them, keep one and get rid of one. And naturally, if the Chet Baker and Strings, the original, is even close, obviously that's the one I keep. But again, every so often, I'm an expert on a lot of jazz artists. Chet Baker's not one of them that I'm an expert of. I know plenty about Chet. I like his stuff. I prefer the instrumental rather than the vocal, obviously, even though I think Chet was a great singer. But it's just one that just slipped by me. I looked at, ooh, cool, new Chet album, fairly cheap. Okay, cool. And a double up. Anyway, next up, I'm going to butcher this because I'm Southern. Sonny Stitt, Primitivo Soul. I don't know, but it's Latin jazz inspired. Don't see this too often. A lot of you don't anyway, but I have a few in my collection. That's that black and gray prestige label. Awesome stuff. Sonny Stitt, great jazz artist that can almost always be had for cheap. That's just a fact of life. Next up, Transfiguration of Hiram Brown by Mose Allison from Columbia. Mono 6i. Awesome stuff. Love Mose Allison. Love the vocals. Love the instrumental. It's just great stuff. Usually on a Mose Allison album, you can expect to hear vocals on a track or two, and this one's no different. I think vocal on 2 tracks, all instrumental on the rest. Great stuff. Love Mose Allison. Next up, Drum Magic George Jenkins and his All Stars. Neat cover. What's cool about this one is it's from the 50s, and it's, damn, yeah, colored vinyl didn't just start a couple of years ago during the vinyl craze or whatever, if you will, when all the kids got into it. Been around for decades. 1954, 55, something like that. Tampa Records, Red Marble vinyl. Good figure. Yeah. Sorry, people, putting old records on colored wax. Nowadays, you're not pioneers. But they're cool though. I still buy them. I'm not gonna lie. All right, next up, Julian by Pepper Adams, Walter Norris, George Mraz, and Makaya Noshiro. I'm sure I butchered that. It's a Japanese word. It's a Japanese name, excuse me. And here you have it. So Inner City, a label that I just got through mentioning to you guys, was so good a minute ago. It's great stuff. Next up, George Wine and the Newport All Stars. It's an original mono pressing on Impulse. You guys usually know how I wagon wheel when I show you Impulse. Splat out, beautiful orange and black label. Might as well. Gatefold, crisp. This one doesn't look or seem as if it was played that much, just because you can still hear that crisp split, if you will, of the gatefold when you open it, and the wax looks immaculate. Happy to have it. Next up, Birdland Dream Band. It's on Vic Records. It's great stuff. Lots of varied assortment of musicians, if you will, but it's great stuff from the 50s. Sorry guys, I paused because I just didn't really have anything that special to add about it, but I do like the music. The next up, Dizzy Gillespie, Paris South label, 28 February 1948. Volume 49. It's, well, you guessed it, French Session, I'm going to get them real quick so you guys can see. Forgive my French, as I attempted French speaking a minute ago. But the flimsy sleeve is always indicative of a UK or European from early. But if you can get in close, you can see the French. And it's actually a UK press. UK press of a French release. But either way about it, cool to have it. A buddy reached out to me and goes, hey, I just realized I have 3 of these. You want one? Okay. Sure. Dizzy Gillespie. Why the fuck not? Next thing up, Jimmy McGriff, Organ and Blues Band, A Thing to Come By. Great stuff on Solid State Records. Oh, Jimmy McGriff. Next up, Gary Mulligan meets Ben Webster. Original stereo pressing on Verve. Killer stuff. Great shape. Next thing up, Shelly Manne and His Friends, modern jazz performances of songs from My Fair Lady. Pretty popular release in the catalog and discography, if you will, of Shelly Manne. Great stuff. It was also released under the names of Leroy Vinegar, and it's something different, but original mono press on contemporary. Great stuff. I love the album. Wonderful stuff. Next up, mainstream 1958, the East Coast jazz scene. It's been a long-standing goal of mine, as I've shared with so many of you guys, to own every session ever in which the great John Coltrane played on. This crosses another one off my list. This one is Wilbur Harden on flugelhorn, Tommy Flanagan on piano, John Coltrane on tenor, Doug Watkins on bass, and Louis Haynes on drums. So Savoy, US Press, great stuff. Happy to cross another one off the train list. Next up is an upgrade for pressing, not for condition, but condition's still pretty goddamn great on this one as well. It's Now by Sunday Stitt on Impulse. It's an original mono pressing. Splat out, orange, black. Great stuff. Obviously, got to show you guys the got gatefold into your life. Wonderful stuff. Last year, I guess. I don't know. This year has smoked my memory. It really just has. I have to look back to the old Instagram posts and YouTube videos just to remember what the hell I bought when and who I was with and when and where, and it's just. But anyway, record fair. Myself, Dylan at Noble Records, David at B-Core 07, the local bandography on YouTube, John at the Digital Gramophone. I went to this record fair in Charlotte, and I got a reissue sealed of this one, but it was like a 70s reissue, and and even though it was sealed, it still had this corner clipped off of it. So I was more than happy to have a sealed copy of a jazz album. Still very happy to be the first one to drop drop a needle on the wax. But when I had the opportunity to upgrade to original mono, perfect cover, perfect gatefold, I Tonto jumped on it. So down to the final two, and these are the biggest bangers in the group. You guys know how I wagon wheel. Wynton Kelly, self-titled with the exclamation point at the end. Wynton Kelly on the keys, Paul Chambers on bass, Sam Jones on bass, and Jimmy Cobb on drums. So you get the double bass here, and it's on VJ. This album is obviously all about that bass. About that bass. Wonderful stuff. Freaking love it. It's a killer album. Killer, killer, killer album. If you get a chance to get it, please do so. Wynton Kelly, slept on genius in the world of jazz music. Another one of the many that died way too soon, in his 30s, 37, 38, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Love Wynton Kelly. Love this album. If you ever get a chance, this is an original mono pressing on VJ. Very happy. Now this one, Grail. Grail status, Instantly one of the most expensive records in my collection. Instantly one of the most valuable records in my collection. Now that I've hyped it up, and then not to mention to it, I've listened to it like 4 times since I got it. And boy, does it sound great. Boy, is it phenomenal. But shocker, it's Blue Note. It's Jackie McLean. Swing, swang, swing. That's an original mono pressing on Blue Note. It is whistle clean. It is above VG++. I don't know if I could quite go near mint, but it's close. It's damn sure close enough. Splat out. That wonderful, glorious label. Maybe my find of the year so far. Very possibly my find of the year so far. It's an expensive one. Not gonna lie to you. Won't tell you how much I paid for it, but it's. Let's just say the price tag's got a couple zeros at the end of it. And man, boy does this cook. I gotta tell you. It's Jackie on the alto, Walter Bishop on Jr. on the piano, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and Art Taylor on the sticks. It is phenomenal, as you guys can see, just as clean on the back as it is on the front. The music is just mind-blowing good. And like I said, I mean, I might be having a temporary brain fart, but if I'm not mistaken, this is probably my find of 2020. And it might stand all year as my find of 2020. It's that good. It's a piece that you have a hard time finding this as a reissue, let alone original mono pressing. No split seams, no problems, no writing on it, no nothing. And VG plus condition. This is Grail status, guys. I'm so very happy to have this. Probably, like I said, probably my find of the year. So, had to end on a big one. You guys know how I like the wagon wheel. All right. If I sound like I'm tired, it's because I worked 56 hours this week, and it's after 2 o'clock in the morning. But if I'm ever going to do these things for you guys, this is when I have time. So, forgive my tired tone. I'm going to go on and take my southern house to bed. But anyway, hope you guys are all having as good a year as you possibly can have through all this. And I hope that you guys are all staying safe. I hope everybody's healthy. And I hope that everybody's, again, just doing the best you can. And that everybody has a healthy household and family. And that everybody is able to have income and have a job. And that everybody is just doing the best they can. And, yeah. And if you haven't bought any records lately, go buy some. Music makes the world better. Music makes life better. I can always tell. I'm always, if I go long enough without getting a chance to come in here and listen to my records, I can always tell. My mood is completely affected by it. But anyway, until next time, until next video, keep dropping that even, you guys.